All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh alongside Paul Zeise, and we're taking your phone calls tonight. And if you need a roof, you got to call Ireland Contracting. They're the best in the business. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. They do roofs, they do siding, they do gutters, they do windows. They do anything you need outside. That's why they are #1 in Pittsburgh. I know Paul Zeise is going to call him if he ever needs anything. I'm going to call him. I got this sun porch I'm working on. I'm going to come over. I'm going to have Ireland Contracting come over and finish it. So you should too. Give us a call right now on the Borders to Borders hotline, 412-575-2600. We're going to go right out to the phone lines, Paul, if you don't mind. And we're going to go out to Mike out in Bethel Park. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I just wanted to make a comment, if I may. Personally, I know with Ben being nicked up, I like him nicked up for this reason. He stays in the pocket more, goes through his progressions down the line, and I think the play calling is more effective and more disciplined throughout the game, and I think they're more effective as an offense for the whole 60 minutes because he's not playing street ball 3/4 of the time. What do you think?
You know what, Mike? I kind of like when he plays street ball. Maybe it's not as effective as it used to be. I mean, I forget, it was the 1 3rd down where he ran all over the field and hit Juju down the sideline against the Browns. But, you know, I like when he does that. I think he's a better quarterback when he does that. I know you disagree with me, but
no, I don't agree with you at all. I mean,
yeah.
I think 5 turnovers speaks volumes.
Well, look,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. When they brought in Todd Haley, in some respects to save Ben from himself. And everybody, well, you know, he's putting handcuffs on Ben. He's changing him and this and that and everything. Ben had 5 of his 6 best seasons with Todd Haley calling plays.
Statistically, yes.
And now you look at it, I mean, to me, are we going to go back to him trying to make plays and hero plays and hold the ball too long and run around and turn the ball over because he's trying to, you know, I don't think that's a good thing. I just hope that if he's going to go back to being schoolyard Ben, somebody on the sidelines can reel him in a little bit and say, listen, this is not good. Because the other part of it is, when he was schoolyard Ben, he got hit a lot. Mm-hmm. You know, when you get hit a lot and you're 26, 27, it's one thing. He's 36, 37, you know, and he got hit a lot in the Cleveland game. So to me, you know, I don't think it's a good thing at all. I think you want him back, you know, when he's at his best in my mind, when he's in the pot, when he's shotgun, you know, no huddle, just picking the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Quick passing and whatever. That's when he's good.
Yeah, even in the pistol. And
whatever,
I don't know why they don't do that as often as they used to.
Yeah. Handing the ball off.
What do you think about, I mean, he talked a little bit about the RPO offense that the Steelers are dabbling into now. This is what a college run-pass option is, more of a college kind of offense. But it looks like, you know, it's starting to transition into the NFL, and they did it a little bit against the Browns. Some of it was successful, some of it wasn't. Do you think he's a good RPO quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think any quarterback can be good, you know, as an RPO quarterback, as long as you have the players around you to scare everybody else into thinking what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If your pass option isn't very good, then your RPO isn't really going to be all that effective. If your run option isn't, you know what I mean? The Steelers with Le'Veon Bell and their passing game, I mean, the RPO could become really effective for them, especially you start spreading teams out and making them cover. You know, it is what it is. The
one problem I have with Ben, I feel like he forces too many balls to Antonio Brown. That's the one and that first interception he threw into triple coverage. You know, I understand he's the best receiver in the NFL, and you want to try to get him the ball, but sometimes it's unrealistic to get him the ball.
Sometimes you throw it into triple coverage and he comes down with it, though.
You're right.
I mean,
but
I do agree.
I wouldn't take that chance.
No, I do agree. Sometimes he forces. He does force it too much to Antonio Brown, but it's hard for me
not to.
You know, to say, well, you know, I mean, he's the best receiver in football. I would too.
All right, back out to phone lines. We got Bill out in Belmont. What's up, Bill? Or who do I got? Yeah, Bill. Bill, what's up?
Bill, yeah. Thanks, Rich. I want to sum up last week's game.
Okay.
It came down to came down to the weather. I feel that the weather, if it wasn't for the few turnovers due to weather, the James Conner fumble, the Steelers hands down win the game.
You know what? I mean, weather. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I appreciate the call, Bill. I mean, weather has an impact on both sides, but I think it impacts the better offense more than the bad. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's wrong. What I was just about to say. It impacted the Steelers' offense more than it impacted the Browns' offense. But the Browns, Tyrod Taylor was, what, 15 for 40, and he only threw 1 interception. I mean, that's bad. That Browns team.
They were +6 or +5 in turnovers.
Yeah.
+5 in turnovers.
That's what lost the Steelers a game.
That had nothing to do with the weather. James Conner's fumble had nothing to do with the weather and everything to do with Miles Garrett making an unbelievable play from the backside to strip him.
Only 1 interception might have been caused by the weather.
Which one? Jesse James?
Jesse James.
Through his horn? I don't think that was caused by the weather either. He just dropped it. I mean, to me, to me, to blame the weather is silly. The Steelers didn't play they were awful. I mean, they played a horrible game, period. And they, you know what, deserved to lose. They're lucky that they were playing the Browns. They were able to win.
You know what? I think sometimes the Steelers are.
I can tell you this: if they're -5 in turnovers this week, they'll lose.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I think the Steelers sometimes go into games like this overconfident. They seem to always play down to the competition, and they always play up to the competition. I just feel like every time that they go against these inferior teams, they come close to losing or they lose. And that's just like the Browns. I mean, you can look at the last few games. All right, real quick before we go to break, we got a tweet here to read. Bob Sassy just tweeted me. Why didn't Samuels get any carries for the Steelers Sunday? Why are the Steelers the only team that plays 1 running back? Can you answer that, Paul? I thought Stephen Ridley would get some.
I thought Ridley would get some, too. That's a great question. I think James Conner had, 35, 36 touches?
Yep.
I would say this, given his injury history, that's probably too many. And if you're going to have to play him 8 weeks now, it looks like, or whatever, Le'Veon Bell's staying out, I mean, I don't think 36 touches is too many for him.
And, you know, the problem the Steelers are having at tight end, I would have thought you would have seen Samuels out catching balls or utilizing him a little bit more.
Give Ridley 4 or 5 carries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe put Samuels in there, let him catch the ball a couple of times. Now all of a sudden Conner has like 28 touches.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think Ron Cook wrote in the Post-Gazette a column, if you look at James Conner's numbers in the fourth quarter, in overtime, they weren't good at all.
No, they weren't good at all. All right, but we got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls. Some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.